Is it possible to go from this to this in just 1 month? In this video, I'm going to be discussing how my client Steven managed to learn the straddle planche in less than a month. I'll be covering the exact workouts that I was giving him on a day-to-day basis, as well as walking you guys through my thought process when I was designing his program. The way that I coached Steven to learning the straddle planche in less than 1 month utilizes the exact same framework that I covered in my previous video. I will make sure to link it in the description below, so if you guys haven't already, make sure to go check it out. This video serves as the actual application of those concepts into a real case study. So sit back and make sure you really pay attention, because I'm going to be going into a lot of detail. Now, when me and Steven first started working together, his tuck planche looked like this. It was completely horrible. He had absolutely no understanding of the planche, or God forbid, how to even extend into an advanced tuck. During our initial strength assessment, I realized that something weird was going on, because his tuck planche looked absolutely horrible, but he was repping out handstand push-ups. And so to me, right off the bat as his coach, I realized that he has a lot of strength, but he has absolutely no idea how to actually express that strength when it comes to the planche. It's important to note that Steven's training was structured like this. He was training 1 day on, 1 day off, and his training consisted of supersets of front lever and planche sets. During the strength assessment week, not only did I figure out where his bottleneck was, but I also figured out the ideal amount of volume for him. And so after figuring out all of the potential confounding variables that was keeping him stuck in his planche progress, I took a step back, drew out his mesocycle for the next 8 weeks, and we got to work. On screen, you'll see the first workout that I gave Steven. And so initially my thinking was, okay, he's struggling to even do a tuck planche, but I know he has the strength to do an advanced tuck planche with clean form. And so for the first workout, we started with straddle planche negatives, which you might be wondering, why are you doing that? He can barely hold a tuck planche. Well, because doing a straddle planche negative is going to be a great way for me to see how much he can actually fight when I force his body to be in the straddle position. See, if he were to do the negative and just fall completely, I would have a strong understanding of where he's actually at when it comes to the strength in planche. And so although this is completely out of his ballpark and he was also shocked, this one set gave me all of the information that I needed and would lay the foundation for the following weeks. I then wanted to see how he would perform an advanced tuck, and to no surprise, his advanced tuck looked like this. Now, it's okay, because I knew this was easy to fix because I saw how controlled his straddle negative was. After this initial training session, I made sure to grill him and really emphasize his issue with the advanced tuck planche, which was the fact that he did not understand proper body extension. And so after sending Steven countless of videos explaining this concept, he cleaned up his advanced tuck within just a few sessions. Now, the subsequent training was relatively similar. However, I introduced another set of advanced tuck to reinforce the proper movement pattern that we're looking for. After the initial session, we were able to figure out many of his bottlenecks when it came to the actual technical execution of the movement. And so the second session, I introduced another set of advanced tuck holds to really test his mind-muscle connection and see if he learned from the previous training. And to no surprise, Steven perfectly integrated all of the mental cues that I discussed with him, and his advanced tuck looks much cleaner now. And so with this sudden jump in what seemed to be just 1 or 2 workouts, I knew I could keep pushing him. And so the next training, things got serious. Now that he cleaned up his advanced tuck form and I can see that he can easily hold it with perfect form, there was no point in wasting any more time in this progression, because no amount of advanced tuck is going to get you a straddle planche. And so this is where the emphasis heavily shifted to straddle planche work. Again, starting the workout with negative into a hold this time to really reinforce the proper activation. When you do a negative into a static hold, you're forced to have the right activations. If you don't maintain the right activations during the negative, it's going to become extremely apparent. And the reason I implemented this is because, again, it's going to allow me to see where the bottleneck is. Previously, I just wanted him to do a straddle negative and control it as slow as possible. But now we're shifting the intention to do a negative into a hold. And so this is going to perfectly outline to me where the potential bottlenecks that Steven is facing are at. And so after the initial negative and the one set of advanced tuck, we moved into volume accumulation with long banded straddle static sets, focusing on spending as much time in the position as possible while still respecting his ideal amount of volume that we computed in the initial strength assessment week. Because if we can respect his maximum recoverable volume when it comes to the skill, we can train it very frequently, do a lot of volume accumulation, and have more opportunities to perform those intense sessions. And so from this training, Steven Straddle had a few issues that we needed to fix, but they weren't too major. And from his negative to straddle planche hold, I could not identify a clear bottleneck besides his understanding of the pelvis position. That was the only thing that really stood out to me. And so again, after explaining the concepts to him that apply to the pelvis and the proper position that we need to have, and also giving him some mental cues he could apply, the subsequent training was much, much better. And I'll throw up the training day for this workout. And now we are doing straddle planche negatives into a hold with a very light band. And so my rationale behind this is to see if he can maintain the perfect activations despite having a high level of perceived effort. When we perform any exercise, it's very easy to perform it when the effort feels low, right? When it feels easy. But what happens when we ramp up that intensity? That's when we really test our body's ability to maintain those proper activations and those proper mental cues despite being under a high difficulty situation, right? Where the perceived effort is much higher. And so again, Steven performed wonderfully on this workout. And I knew we were getting close to that straddle planche mark already. And so again, we ended the workout with more volume accumulation, just trying to spend as much time in the position as possible, reinforcing all of those good mental cues and really pushing Steven's body to make those adaptations because he already has the hard part done, right? He already has the raw strength needed. He's just missing the adaptations. His shoulders can already generate so much torque. All that he's missing is his body's understanding of how to take this torque and express it in the planche, which is more of the adaptation side of things, right? The activations. That's what we're really trying to learn here. And after just a few more workouts following a similar training pattern that I've been discussing already, we finally got to the straddle planche day. The day that Steven would attempt his first straddle planche. As a coach, I knew he was gonna hold it. I actually told him the day before to mentally prepare because I knew that if he couldn't hold the straddle planche, it wasn't an issue of being fatigued or being tired or being weak. It simply came down to if he believed it was possible for him. And so that's why I made sure to stress the importance of mentally preparing the day before. And to no surprise, Steven sent me this. In literally less than 31 days, Steven went from a tuck planche, barely being able to hold any sort of decent form, to doing a clean straddle planche for 3 seconds. And I just showed you guys literally everything that we did. Who else is doing it like me in the space? Guys, come on. I'm gonna raise an army of planchers and take over the world, all right? Because I understand this programming side of things and how to literally teach anyone a planche or any calisthenic skill. I can teach anyone any calisthenic skill because I understand the principles that hold this entire sport together. You cannot look at this transformation and argue anything. Nothing. It's all out there for you to see. I just literally showed you the text messages between me and my client every single day that led up to his straddle planche hold. I'm making this video right after he held it, but guess what? He's gonna have full planche in no more than 2 months because I know exactly how to program static skill training in calisthenics when it comes to anybody of any background. Sure, Steven had the bottleneck of no adaptations but having raw strength. But guess what? If someone had the inverse and they had really good activations but a lack of strength, I could also help them achieve their planche. Right? It doesn't matter. And so I'm going to reiterate, if you have not already, go check out my previous video where I cover this exact framework that I've applied on Steven in way more detail. It will be linked in the description below. Go check it out. And so I'm going to now shift things to me and Steven and a small little interview that we had a few days ago where Steven talks about his initial encounter with me and kind of his thought process behind reaching out to me for coaching. All right, guys, I'm here with Steven. I'll let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Hello guys, my name is Steven. I'm 21 years old and I achieved stuff like going from tuck to straddle planche in 1.5 months. And I got this after working with Anton. And yeah, it's been great since then.
Love it, brother. And kind of what made you reach out for coaching in the first place?
So to be honest with you, like having the coaching call and first time hearing from you, there were like 2 or 3 hours between that. So I was just scrolling on YouTube, and then suddenly I saw your YouTube video about the one-arm handstand. And you were just talking about stuff no one really talks about, like specific stuff that you genuinely need just to unlock the skill. And yeah, that made me realize that you are someone who not just unlocked a skill, but genuinely had to work for something because you know so much about these skills you preach. And yeah, I just wanted to work with someone like that. That made me reach out in the first place.
I wish the videos I make now, I wish I had them when I was starting, because people, they just give you planche tutorial. It's like, okay, tuck planche, straddle planche, full. And it's like, okay, bro, it's not going to actually help me. Right. So I'm glad I was able to help you. And, kind of leading into that, I know we had a long phone call because you saw the YouTube, you booked the call with me, and we were on that call, I remember, for like 2 hours or something. And I guess my question is, what was your biggest fear of committing into working with me, right? Kind of what was the main thing that was holding you back from working with me?
So I never really questioned your abilities because we see your testimonials, we see what you've done with other people. So I knew I would get what I want to get if I work with you, if I just put in the work. But my main constraint was the money, because we don't have to hide it, like it is expensive. And I chose the 6-month route. Basically, I didn't have a lot of money in my bank account. I still don't. But the thing is, that was the biggest constraint of mine, just the money, because I didn't want to spend so much money. But you then made me realize that I'm not just throwing away money, and tomorrow the money will not just go away, but it's a investment. I put in money there so that with the money I can do something for me. It's not like buying a new pair of off-white Air Jordans that cost like 10K and the money's just gone. I invest in something, and this investment got me to some point today where I can actually be proud of that I did it, because it got me so much in return. So yeah, coming back to the question, biggest concern was 100% the money. But yeah, you convinced me, obviously.
Yeah, of course, like the money's like the first thing people think about, right? Like, that's the sticker shock value. But if you actually just sit down and think about it, like you're gonna pay this amount to work a long time with someone, right? For something you're super passionate about. And so over the last, just a few months we've been working together, bro, you have matured so much, like mentally. You are now actually pursuing like your dream of calisthenics, right? You are trying to launch your online coaching business. You are trying to pursue calisthenics more than just kind of a hobby per se, but more it's like your life passion, right? And it's amazing to see, man, because I knew during that call, I'm like, fuck, if I let him go, like I'm gonna hate myself, because I knew talking to you on the call, you had so much potential, but you were just scared, you were hesitating. And sometimes it takes that person to rip you out of your comfort zone, right? Because that call, funny enough, that call, although it was just a random call that you had with some random dude you saw a YouTube video of online, it could have potentially changed the complete trajectory of your life, right? And now I view you as a friend, and it's really awesome because your progression has been nuts, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for you, man. And hopefully one day we can meet, because you've been absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it leads into my next question. Do you regret your decision making such a big commitment?
100% no, bro. Otherwise, I wouldn't be friends with you anymore.
You get scammed, bro.
Yeah. I don't, because like at the start I was hesitating because I didn't really know if it was worth it, what I would get in return. But I imagined myself in so and so much time I can achieve this and this. And now I'm at some point where I didn't even imagine, I didn't even set the goal to achieve what I actually achieved. I didn't even think that I could get the straddle planche so fast. So 100% no, I don't regret it at all.
I love that, man. And you know, it's funny because remember the night before you went for the straddle planche, I texted you like, "Yo,
Yeah,
prepare," because I knew if you didn't hold it, it was not because you were weak, tired, fatigued. Like I knew you were gonna feel great that day, but the issue was, do you believe yourself you can hold it? You know, that's the biggest thing. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you're not gonna do it, right?
yeah,
So yeah, man, that was awesome. That was I love so far. Like it's only been, you know, a month and a half, 2 months, but you know, I love it, man. Let's keep going. Okay. Full planche in less than 3 months. Once your forearm
100%.
heals, we're good to go. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, kind of, I guess what do you enjoy about the coaching the most from your perspective? What is the most valuable piece of the coaching in your opinion?
That's a good question. And to be honest, I went into this coaching not because I wanted someone to just tell me, today you do this, and then after that you rest, and then the day after you train this, and then you will get in this time this goal. I didn't want someone to just tell me to do this and this will happen. I wanted someone that told me, do this, and then this would happen because you do this and this and this, and this leads to long story. I just love the learning part from your coaching because I don't want to just achieve a goal and then after the coaching be like that because I don't know how to actually get good further on. But I want to understand why I got the achievements that I achieved. And now at the point where I'm at right now, I went from tag to straddle in 45 days. And if I would travel back in time and I was alone, I would 100% know what I should do. And that's the most important part to me, that I actually understand the fundamental stuff of calisthenics that nobody talks about. It's the reason I reached out to you, because I wanted to learn this stuff. Because as you said, I'm a coach too. And I'm humble enough to not say that I know everything and that I can achieve everything by myself. So yeah, I just love the fact that I'm learning so deep, really deep insights about every single skill in calisthenics that I want to achieve, that so many people struggle with. And yeah, we talked about it. It's so sad how much bullshit is thrown out there. And I just love the fact that I'm someone who's some of the few people in the world that actually knows the truth about specific skills in calisthenics and how to actually unlock those skills. So yeah, that's the thing 100% I love the most about the coaching.
I'm glad you said that because that is my goal, right? My goal is not to just get you from point A to point B, but to rather teach you the process of how you can continue on your own for the rest of your
Mhm.
life, right? Because we're not going to be working together for like 30 years, right? So it's important that you actually understand the concepts and like why you're progressing. Because if you're just getting results and you don't know how you got them, then you're going to feel entitled to coach other people, but you can't coach other people because you have no understanding of how you even got there, right?
Yeah,
And I believe this is a huge problem that plagues calisthenics and why most calisthenic coaches absolutely fucking suck because they don't even know how they achieve the skills themselves. When you ask them, explain to me the system that you used to go from here to here, they cannot tell you, you know, and that's a problem. And that's something actually that infuriated me during my progression in this sport is I watch people online like you. I'm trying to find people who are speaking, like understand what they're saying. And you can tell the way that they are voicing their information, there's no conviction. They don't even believe what they are saying, you know? And so, yeah, that's when I realized that no one knows what they're actually talking about. And yeah, I had to more go into powerlifting to learn from there. So, yeah.
yeah. I just was working out with a friend like the day before yesterday, and he has a coach. He pays 50 euros per month for him, and he's a crazy athlete. I don't remember his name, but he is like insane, Maltese on fingers and stuff. And he coached this guy, and he wants to achieve the planche too. And he just told me, well, planche is very easy. You just get into the planche position, you do protraction, then you lean forward, and then you just hold it, like stuff like this. You know what I mean, bro? Like
Dude,
I want
that's
I
what
want
I'm saying, bro.
And just quickly, I want to get back to the point earlier because of the money stuff.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
someone charges 50 euros or $50, doesn't matter, per month, it's a reflection of how much he thinks that it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just lean forward and hold the planche. Like, it's bullshit though.
Yeah,
But if
that's
you,
what you get for 50 euros, bro.
yeah, but let's break this down a little, because you haven't charged only me 3K, right? You have
Charge
a lot of clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you did this one time and the client would be like completely upset and would think like this is scam, then he would like not give a testimonial that it is so great. Then he would not progress so much. Then you would not be able to sell to so much more people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's like, because the biggest point of contention is the price, right? It's like, bro, I don't want to get scammed, because it's a large amount of money.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like, listen, I have a Discord community with 3,000 people. It's active every day. I have a large presence on social media. I'm friends with many, many other coaches. Do you really think that if I was scamming people, that my name would not be ran through the mud, right? Or you would hear something bad. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. That's not how it works. I have over 50 clients at the moment, so it's I have to start charging more probably soon, but because I'm just too many people. But yeah, that's a good point you brought up, man. And I hate the full Maltese. You said you can do, right?
Yeah. On
You know,
fingertips.
that's great. Full Maltese on fingertips, charging 50 euros a month for coaching, teaching people how to planche by leaning forward and doing protraction push-up and leaning and raising your legs off the ground, right? 50 euro a month, guys. Very nice. That's so bad, man. That's so bad. And that's kind of my, how to say it. That's how I look at it. You either go all in, you pay the premium price for premium coaching so you actually get value, or you go for some cheaper, shitty option, you waste your money, you get no progress, and then guess what? You die in the middle, because you cannot pay a little amount and have a good coach. If you try to pay a little amount and have a good coach, you're going to get fucked over and you're going to lose money and have no results, right? It's just how it works, man. If you like, yeah, there's no way around it. And I'm glad you brought that up again, man, because it's a very important point. And also, this leads to my next question. Many people are going to watch this YouTube video, right? Despite me showing the text messages, timestamped, everything, right? Literally, I show all of the workouts that I wrote to you between when we started and until you got the planche. People are going to call this out and say it's fake somehow, or, I'm some guru. I have no clue what I'm talking about. What would you say to these individuals?
It's not fake. To be honest with you, I don't really know how to prove it more, because I can interview every one of my friends that knows me when I was just shit. I can show the timestamps from when I took videos, when I send you specific stuff. It just isn't. And to be honest, I think people only get agitated to a fact like this if they can't do it themselves. That like it's a kind of envy, because they haven't achieved the things that you achieved personally and with your clients, and now they think, fuck, I can Maltese on fingertips, he can't, so why don't I have the results that he has? He must do fake shit. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. Listen, dude, you said it perfectly. There's this ego, right? Because I'm not the craziest athlete, right? I'm not like doing XXX super crazy planche combos. I got full planche hold, one arm front lever, one arm handstand, right? That's like my achievements. And there's people out there who can do fingertip Maltese, right? And stuff like this, who are going to look at me and be like, how is he teaching people better than me, even though he's a lower level, right? And so that's where the argument comes in. But a good athlete will never be equivalent to a good coach, and a good coach will not be equivalent to a good athlete. These are two very different things, right? A good athlete is a strong demonstration of having an understanding of a system that works for you, right? Now, does your system work for other people? Is it statistically significant enough for you to be able to replicate your results in others? If you cannot replicate what you've done in others, it doesn't matter, right? It's good for you. Nice. But why should other people pay you money for your system that would not work for them, right? I mean, some of the world record planche holders, right? I was looking at their first clips ever. They are so young, like you can tell they are kids, and they are just full sending planche attempts, pike hips, right? They don't even, they skipped all progressions. They just attempt planche, 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 and they get it, right? They get like a shitty hold. And then over the years, their form refines, and they never, like, think about trying to teach someone who's like 20 years old, who's trying to get into calisthenics. He can do a tuck planche, right? And he's maybe 180 centimeters, 80 kg, right? Like 6 foot tall, 180 pounds. How do you think that your advice of just spam full planche attempts is going to work for this guy? You know what I mean? You started when you were a kid, super young, super light, shorter. This guy's taller, heavier, older. Your approach would not work for him, right? You have to take into account these different variables. And I think that's one of the big advantages I have as well is I started this sport late in my life, not as a kid. And I was tall and I'm heavy, right? So automatically, like, I hate the excuse of it's harder, but it objectively is harder, right? It objectively is. I had to go through more hurdles, more issues, but I'm grateful for it because now I can help people like you who really are struggling in calisthenics and just blow past what you thought was possible. And so I'm so grateful to have you on the team, Steven, and I cannot wait for the future.
100%. And we talked about this in the podcast that we filmed a few days ago. And I truly believe that if you don't struggle with a specific goal, then you don't find the real solutions to this problem. And if you have many problems, you find many solutions, and a few of those solutions will actually help other people too. And that's why I think that the fact that you started late, that you are heavy, that you are tall, that you have huge legs, all this stuff is just, to be honest, a gift now. Because without of it, you wouldn't be and you wouldn't know what you know now.
100% agree, man. 100% agree. You know what? And I hope everyone enjoys this video, man. I put in a lot of effort to it. And Steven, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast with me today. Short little interview, but I hope, some of the viewers got some insight from this. Before I get into the outro, I want to first talk about something that has really been bothering me. Social media has done a great job convincing everyone that attaining high-level skills is some impossible feat. It's not. Sure, you can maybe train on your own for a few years and you'll maybe get a decent form straddle hold, a decent form front lever, a decent form one-arm handstand, right? Everyone knows that. If you train long enough, it doesn't matter how wrong you do things or how right you do things, you're gonna get your end goal. Now, if you genuinely care to reach a high level in calisthenics or time is valuable to you, then I highly recommend looking into coaching. I am currently working with over 50 individuals who are all pursuing calisthenics as their passion. It's the best feeling in the world seeing everyone win, right? I mean, I had to make a whole video on Steven's transformation because it was so mind-boggling to me, and it really goes to highlight the beauty of calisthenics and the kind of intricacies behind it. And for me as well, seeing my understanding and the concepts that I've kind of created over the years and actually applying them to all of these various people and continuously seeing insane results, it's the best feeling in the world. If you've been struggling to progress in calisthenics, whether it's planche, handstand push-up, front lever, one-arm handstand, any calisthenics skill, if you've been struggling, then I do offer one-on-one personalized coaching. It is something that I do full-time and take very seriously. If you'd like to book a call with me and see if my coaching would be the right fit for you, then head to the description below where you'll find a link to book a call with me so we can discuss the next steps to take. Also, I do have a Discord community. It has nearly 3,000 members in it. And so if you guys aren't already in it, make sure to join it. It will also be linked in the description below. I want to thank all of you for making it this far. I truly am grateful to be in the position that I'm in, and I cannot wait to continue fighting the status quo of what people think is possible in calisthenics.